Beloved saints, today's 5-minute message of redemptive history is about Pekahiah in the history of the kings of Israel. From the 4th book of Redemptive History series, God's Profound and Mysterious Providence. Pekahiah was the son of Menahem, and he succeeded his father to become the king of Israel. Pekahiah was the second king of the 7th dynasty of the northern kingdom of Israel. And overall, he was the 17th king of the northern kingdom of Israel. The name Pekahiah means the Lord has opened, or the Lord has opened the eyes. First, Pekahiah built a citadel of the king's house. When we look in 2 Kings 15 verse 25, it states that Pekahiah built a citadel of the king's house, which is a high fortress or a watchtower built to protect the king's house. Pekahiah built such a place of refuge in order to protect his own life, because he knew all too well about the continuing revolts and coups d'etats in the history of the northern kingdom of Israel. Moreover, he placed servants around him to protect themselves. Their names were Argob and Ariah. But ironically, Pekahiah died with his servants who were supposed to protect him inside the citadel of the king's house that he built. 2 Kings 15 verse 25 states, "One of his chief officers, Pekah son of Remaliah, conspired against him. Taking 50 men of Gilead with him, he assassinated Pekahiah, along with Argob and Ariah, in the citadel of the royal palace at Samaria. So Pekah killed Pekahiah and succeeded him as king." Everyone, this incident shows us that man-made refuge and citadels are useless. God is our true refuge and fortress. During the plague of the 6th seal in the book of Revelations, the king of the earth, the great men, the commanders, the rich, the strong, every slave and free man hid themselves in the caves and among the rocks of the mountains. And they said to the mountains and to the rocks, "Fall on us and hide us from the presence of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb." This is in Revelations chapter 6, verses 15 to 16. However, the mountains and the rocks can never become a place of refuge for men. No matter what the situation may be, blessed are those who take refuge in God. Psalms 34 verse 8 states, "Taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the one who takes refuge in him." Psalms 46 verse 1 states, "God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble." Thus, if you seek out God, you will be rescued no matter what kind of crisis you may be in. Second, Pekahiah relied on man. It was Pekah who killed Pekahiah. 2 Kings 15 verse 25 records that the killer was Pekah son of Remaliah, his officer. Here, the word officer is salish in Hebrew. Originally, this word meant third. However, when it is used in a military setting, it means the third man in the war chariot, or a high military officer serving as military assistant to the king. We can surmise from the fact that Pekah was able to enter into the citadel of the king's house, that Pekahiah had placed his trust in Pekah. As it turned out, Pekahiah was killed by his most trusted subordinate officer. Pekahiah must have installed Pekah as his military aide because Pekahiah, in his personal judgment, thought that Pekah would always protect him and never betray him. Beloved saints, the judgment that only takes into account the visible reality of things is uncertain. It is temporary and limited. Unless God opens our eyes, we will always be deceived. Pekahiah's name means the Lord has opened the eyes. However, He did not live according to his name, and he was deceived by his most trusted subordinate Pekah and killed. Let us all learn from this. We must never judge with our imperfect eyes or rely on imperfect human beings. We must always entrust all of our judgments to God. In other words, we must wholly rely on God alone. I bless in the name of the Lord.